All right, guys, good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of GAR Capital. It is Friday, June 30th, 2023, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, just about. Glad to have you on board. End of the quarter, end of the month, end of the first half of the year. 6 months have come and by. And how are you guys doing? Hope everyone's doing well. Glad to have you on board. Let's go ahead and get started. Dow futures up about 168 points this morning. NASDAQ up 0.9%, up 138 points. S&P 500 futures 44.65, excuse me, up 0.65%. The Russell up 0.66%, 1910. We talked about this yesterday. This is the price action I expected yesterday. So we were long futures anyway. So we moved stops. We're looking rock solid. We got hit on a long when we got a pullback. I believe that was on Wednesday. Crude oil just broke my alert above 70. That's a really good sign. At least we can't have oil get too down either. That affects energy companies as well. So again, we're long futures. We still are. We moved those stops. So again, nice way to wrap the bow of the quarter. We're going to be taking those futures contracts today. So we could just clean the books and start fresh again Monday, July 1st. I can't believe it. You work so hard for a month or half of the year or a quarter, and then you just start back to zero. So, enjoy the fruits of your labor, I always say. 10-year Treasury yield 3.821% this morning. Those yields are down. Crude oil, we just talked about it, broke my alert. I'm going to be done with futures today after ES and NQ. I'm good. Gasoline futures $2.51, up 0.29%. Gold futures, we broke below 1900 yesterday. I have not charted that. That is something I'm going to be watching very, very carefully. So we're going to talk about gold next week. So again, when we talk about the morning note next week, when we start on Monday, fresh, no risk open, we're going to talk a little bit about gold on the futures side and see if we can catch something for a bounce. Silver futures 22.69, down about 0.47%. Copper futures up 1%. We talked about copper is a good barometer for economic activity. China just had some news last night that their manufacturing index contracted, and I don't even believe that data, so it's probably worse than it really is. But again, copper catching a bid is usually a risk-on sign. We're going to go ahead and chart S&P 500 and NASDAQ together today. Euro dollar is up 33 pips, 108.98. Dollar yen, remember we got out of that, 144.46, down about 33 pips. The BOJ was talking about intervention around the 150 area on dollar yen. They don't want the yen being too weak either. Again, it's all about equilibrium. What they wanted is to be weak, but not too weak. Pound dollar up 75 pips, 126.85. Bitcoin futures 31,460. That is up this morning. We caught those Mara calls and we caught the Tesla calls yesterday. So Mara did hit for us. It's actually still going. Ethereum futures up 2.42%. Let's go to the volatility index. That's 1334, down 1.48%. Another Friday VIX smash program, possibly. Every Friday, it seems the VIX gets absolutely obliterated. I mean, how low can we go at this point? And the dollar index coming back down 103.05. We had a nice little pop yesterday. I was watching Forex in the evening, and then seeing that the dollar pulling back is a good sign for risk assets like stocks. Let's get started. Let's do it on the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ move that we got, again, guys, should not be a surprise. We talked about this as well if you're in the Discord channel. We talked about this inverse, head and shoulders, or cup and handle, whatever the hell you want to talk about. The question now, and we know we got the breakout. The question is, how high can we go, right? Is that always the question for everybody? 15,284. Again, guys, we're just looking to get back to 2 weeks ago. I mean, again, that's not limit up. That's not all bull, we're soaring. All we're doing is retracing. And that seems to be what the market is doing as it chops around. Is it gets back down, gets back up, gets back down, gets back up, and that's fine. The trick is to catch every move or try to catch as many moves as you can. So again, all of this action is not surprising. The only surprising aspect was that it happened today, not yesterday. But that's fine, as long as you get it right? Time is a factor too, but at least not with futures at least. So again, 15,284, that's going to be my target, at least for S&P, for NASDAQ futures. I put 15.5 as my total TP, and I think we get there. Just not going to happen, today. I think we'll get that in July. And we're going to talk about seasonality here in a second. So again, I do expect NASDAQ to get around this zone, 15,284. I think that's probably the best place to take some profits. Probably take all of them and just wrap it up for the quarter and wrap it up for the week. Let's go to S&P 500 futures. Starting to push really, really well. We put that stop here at 44.50. Again, I already let them know. I just put the alert there. I personally don't have a stop on it, so I'm just letting that go. But again, I put the alert there so I can remind everybody that, hey, your stops have been hit. How far can we go? 44.83. I put my total TP at 4,500. That is definitely a possibility if bank stocks and value stocks, and if we get energy go higher, I'm going higher, like oil. If oil goes higher, the Dow's going to go higher. That's going to help S&P 500. There is still a mixture of value in there. I know it's very tech-centric. The NASDAQ is helping out. One company in particular named Apple is really pushing with a price upgrade very conveniently sent out after hours by Citibank. I think they had a 250 price target. Let's answer some questions here. Too late to the party for Apple. Would calls be chasing at this point? I think you'd be chasing. So again, I don't think the two trades that we've struggled with this week are carryovers from last week. Any trades that we've done this week have all hit calls and puts. We're going to go over that this afternoon after the bell. I'm going to do the video recapping the week, and then I'm also going to recap the quarter and how we did. So we got a lot of things to go over this week's edition of the market recap, which I will do after the bell. So again, it's going to be pre-recorded. It's not going to be a live or anything because I have a lot to go over and I usually don't have it live. But in terms of Apple, I mean, I had that question yesterday. How high could it go? I mean, it really goes to as high as the imagination. It really does. So we really have to just look at it at the point of, you could say Fibonacci extensions. Carlos, there's an extension, 168. Yeah, we could do that all day. That's fine. But at the end of the day, I mean, there is no resistance at this moment. In order to get resistance, you need the stock to stop going higher. So the good news, at least for me, is that we did have the 190 calls on Apple this week. That could have been constituted as chasing too, and that was right around 188 or something. I'm still holding those calls, so again, I'll go ahead and take that this morning, and I'll be happy with my profit moving forward with Apple. But no, I would not get in chasing this. Why? Get the clean slate for next week, and that's going to pivot me now to the seasonality. So let's go ahead and go over it. Give me a second. I know I had a question on futures chat. I'm pretty sure Nick will take care of that. Here's the seasonality for the NASDAQ. And we've been talking about seasonality for a while now. So this is the NASDAQ 100 seasonality from 1985 to 2022 altogether. Look at July. Look how strong July is. We are right here. So all of this movement here, right, this little push up is not expected. This is something that seasonally speaking usually happens. Doesn't mean it has to, but again, it could be your guide. We'll probably get some sideways action next week. Never know. Now we know some seasonality. It doesn't seem to be a bull run, but the middle of July, nice move higher. As we get into August, we'll get a pullback. Remember last year in August, we had a pullback when we had that trend line reversal, that trend line rejection on the fake pivot by the Fed. I remember that very vividly. It was not a pivot. I remember saying that vividly on the morning note. You can go check it. And then we get a little sideways action in August. So maybe if you're somebody that likes to trade, maybe you take a little vacation in August or so. This is going to be pretty choppy. As we get into September, October, it gets pushing a little higher. October, we get a dip, usually 85 to 2000, 2022. Throw in Lehman, throw in 9/11, post 9/11 world. You get these kind of moves here. This kind of protruded move down on October. So this can be skewed. But again, as we get into November, and I thought November was the strongest month of the calendar in terms of stocks. It's actually July. So again, July, November are your big months of big moves higher. So we need to prepare ourselves in July to look at any kind of dips that are, holding support that we can go ahead and buy in terms of calls. I don't think we'll get a chance to really invest in anything. All the stocks that are moving higher are names that we already own. So it's kind of like, what's the point? We can trade around it, get a better better ROI in the short term, and then we can use that profit to buy more shares. At that point, we wouldn't care really on the price because we're double dipping in a sense. So again, you can use options, use that profit, and then go ahead and go to putting it in stocks as well. You could do that, or you can spend it. I mean, everyone is different. Let's see here. Let's go over here. We have ES going, NQ is going. We're getting pretty close to the level that I'm looking for at 15,284. Tesla, I talked about this yesterday. There's a gap to fill here at 265.45. We had the 260 calls on Tesla. We took those yesterday. Well done, team. We got into DraftKings yesterday. Now this one I'm kind of pissed off on because we were right here, and I was sending the chart for the premium members to explain, why we were doing it. And it was moving so quickly. It had 30%. I didn't think about taking it. I should have taken it. Now, again, hindsight is 2020. But again, we're getting a nice little bounce. And I drew this zones here. And again, we held this support here around 26.28. And then we just played the breakout above 26.58. So we're basically back where we were yesterday. Now, again, does this look like to you really bearish? No. And then we're also getting a big push in stocks right now. High betas may get a bid. I don't know. But again, 26.87, once that breaks, that's the recent high. We should get in the money. I have the 27 calls. Once we get that, at this point, I expect those contracts to move rather quickly. So I'm not looking more to just get 40%. I'm looking to get 20, 25 and just call it and just be happy with it. Amazon has been one that has been a drag for us. Why? We've opened it last week and it's been complete chop. So again, we got in on Friday with that nice pop breaking out. We had the 130 calls and then it chopped at the end of the session. This is why we bought time. We came back on Monday, fell down. Again, this is why we bought time, bounced back, and then we chopped around on Wednesday. We hit in the money 3 times now, almost 4. And then you could see Thursday, nice pop in the morning, and then falls. This could happen the same today. We have a gap to fill at 128. So what we need to do is really get to 132. And we have the 130 calls. So since the theta burn is really hurting these contracts, and these contracts have the most volume on the board, it's just been an absolute chop fest for this name. You had Tuesday be strong, and you have today being strong. The rest of the days have been weak. So again, we need 132 on Amazon. We need a big bid in NASDAQ in order for this to go. So again, we'll see what we get. Meta was another one. Tough, tough, tough. Again, very similar price action to Amazon. The only difference is that Amazon is closer to the money than Meta. Meta, we went OTM, out of the money, playing the 300 calls with time on a Friday ahead of a full week. There was no holiday. We got to 290.40 and then we fell on Monday, hit that triple bottom and we bounced and we've just been chopping around. So we got chopped to death. That's literally the worst case scenario for options traders because it just builds hope and unfortunately that really sucks. The resistance for Tesla is right here. That's it, 265.45. That's your 1 hour gap fill. Could we get there today? Absolutely. Why? Because you have a cup and handle formation. I do not advise doing any kind of zero DTEs, and I definitely don't want to hold anything to next week. Thank you, Meta, and thank you, Amazon, for teaching me that lesson, at least for now. But yeah, I mean, I would not chase Tesla here, not zero DTEs, but I think it's going to go to 265.45. So we'll see what we get. All right, guys. We went tons of stuff to go over. We went over seasonality, went over some of our trades, futures, and we're starting to cook now. I'm going to go and check in with the market bloggers. Again, if you haven't signed up already for our market blog, please do. We'd love to have you on board, and so we can inform you on what's happening in the market, give you guys some information as well. gar.capital, www.gar.capital. Not sure where to start under pricing, get free plan. Join our free Discord channel in terms of the market blog. And if you like what you see and you like the way we do things, please sign up on our website. We'd love to have you on board. Let's go ahead and end the half, the quarter, the week strong. And then we're going to make the second half, the third quarter, and the next week even better. So we're going to keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Let's make as much as we can today, and we'll call it a week. Have a great rest of your day. I will catch you guys later for the market recap. Thanks again for watching and all your support. Cheers.